So this client is seriously considering a $100,000 investment out of a CD into the stock market due to the declining rates on deposit accounts and getting to a point where it's harder to get a low risk to risk-free return on your money. If this client makes this $100,000 investment, which a joint appointment is set up with myself and my advisor later this week at the time of this recording, then that would net me $350 in commissions from that deal. And that's just one deal. So the client has a great financial background. They have very low expenses, been at the same job for a long time, right in that retirement window of like 65 probably at this point. And, has built up a pretty sizable retirement portfolio, maybe around $600,000 to $700,000. I want to say her home is paid off. She paid cash for her car. So she's just in a really good position. Low expenses, low debt, good credit, good cash savings, good cash flow. And she has $600 to $700 in retirement plan at her job. And she has maybe around $150,000 in deposits with us. And money spread out in other places. So this client is at a point where she's been very conservative, very skittish, and she's been one of those people who's been salivating at the fact that she can get a decent return on her deposits without taking much risk, which for most people, who wouldn't? If you have an opportunity to do a low to no risk, strategy where you can get a decent earning that actually surpasses the official numbers of inflation, then why wouldn't you do it? So I have been prepping this client. I've been working with her for about 2 years. It took me a long time of calling her and reaching out to her to get her comfortable enough to come in, sit down, have a conversation, and let me start working on her financial plan. Once we got that off the ground, we've been working together about 2 years, and most of that has been spent, keeping her money bucketed in good places, and then taking those excess amounts once we just determine what they are and putting them into a CD for now for, to get that great return on her money without having to take the risk. I've been prepping her for about maybe 7 or 8 months since we helped renewed her last CD term, which was an 8-month term. I was like, look, you're going to have to start considering getting into the market. I understand that you have a very conservative perspective, but you're going to have to start considering it because you're not going to be able to hide behind these deposit accounts for much longer. So she's been processing that for a minute now. She's been processing it. The renewal came up at the time of this recording. It came up this week. And so we had this in-person meeting to discuss what that looks like. We went over the current rates, the trajectory of rates, and I got her to understand, listen, you are definitely going to take some level of risk going into the stock market, even in a conservative portfolio. At times, you're going to lose money. Overall, performance-wise that we've seen, indicators going forward, you're likely going to come out better than you went in. That is the likelihood. You are guaranteed to lose money in your deposit accounts to inflation in the very near future. Inflation is at its best case going to be at 2%. So that basically means with rates now starting to come down into the 3 to 4 range, eventually 2 to 3 range, inflation is going to hover around, and there's no guarantees the Federal Reserve is even going to make the 2% mark and stay there, that you're going to end up breaking even or actually starting to lose value officially on your money. It's a guaranteed loss. So I also had to remind her, listen, $600,000 to $700,000 of your net worth is already in the market. It's been there for years. You've watched the stock market work like right in front of your eyes, doing a phenomenal job. Y'all forgive me for the noise. I don't know whose car that is. But you've also been able to watch your portfolio for, probably a couple of decades at this point. You've seen how the stock market functions. You've seen how it can perform. You've grown a goose egg of nearly $700,000 in a retirement account from the stock market. And you plan on staying in it another 3 to 5 years because your goal is to reach $1 million in just that account, which for her would be phenomenal because, again, she has extremely low expenses. I think the lady probably can survive off of $2,000 or $3,000 a month. It's insane. So, you grow a goose egg of $1 million in that account. You have $100,000 you start this portfolio with that can easily 3 to 5 years from now do, pretty reasonable returns and get you to, she wants to get to $250,000 in that account. Can't guarantee that's going to happen, but it's a hell of a goal. And I think it's something to strive for in the next 3 to 5 years. It'll take some good performance. It'll take some risk tolerance from her. But I've seen stock portfolios, including my own, do 40 and 50% over cumulative averages of 3 to 4 and 5 years. I've seen it with my own eyes. I have one of my own stock portfolios, and my 401k do really reasonable double-digit returns for a consistent period of time, minus the COVID situation. So this client is, she's taking my word for it. She's trusting my better judgment, my professional guidance. And she's also hunkering down on what she understands and considering the fact she's already in the market. It's not like she didn't have any exposure. And she has good cash reserves. She has great cash flow, so she's able to save consistently. So this client is going to be a great, they're very suitable to put that $100,000 in, start that process of trying to get that account to about $250,000 or $200,000 to $250,000 in the next 3 to 5 years. And add to her position in which she's trying to, it sounds like if you round it out, somewhere around, $1.5 million in net worth, give or take, which is a great place to be when you only need about $3,000 a month or $2,500 a month to live. It's insane. She can easily get that in a return, a little over $1 million. She can get a 3 or 4% return in many places and cover her lifestyle without touching her principal. So as far as my commission is concerned, that client, if that deal closes, the way I get paid, I'll get about $350 from that one deal of $100,000 in investments. And that's going to be on top of anything else I accomplished. As I demonstrated, the accounts take long to season. So it's like those relationships take months to years. I've been working with this client for 2 years, without necessarily making a lot of money, but developing a relationship for what's best for the client and knowing that at some point in time, the opportunity to make money will come. And so this is a client that's been 2 years in the making, but you have a pool of those clients building up in my line of business. It's kind of like a book of business. So it's that client and many others that are on that rope, and they all close at different times. And so this will be one client that'll be, at that 350 mark for me in commissions just this month alone. If that deal closes in time, we still have to get through that meeting. She may change her mind, but that'll be 350. And that is just me reporting on one of my instances of a larger scale deal that I have in the works. There's other things going on. I've had other good clients, and I'm just going to kind of document it a video at a time, because the goal is to really double my commission income at minimum for this year. So I got to put some work in for sure. I've also released a video, or will be releasing a video if it's not out already, going over my 2023 and 2024 commission compensation and what I made. Definitely want to start documenting that journey and putting that out there so people can see the benefits of being able to bet on yourself and have some control over your income. Commission income is great. It's hard work and it's feast or famine, but if you can figure it out, if you have the skill set, you have the gumption, the consistency, you can do really well, and you can do so without exchanging as much of your time for that money. So I do make a salary. I do have great annualized benefits that I do really well with. But my commission is becoming my bread and butter. So I'll keep y'all posted on this. I'm gonna let y'all know if that deal actually closes in a couple of days, but I just wanted to let y'all know that high likelihood that it would. And what the breakdown was on how I made that recommendation and how it was gonna be a good fit for that client. And maybe you can take a little something from that in your own retirement plan or your own financial journey. So comment down below. Let me know what you picked up from it. Let me know what you think about my commission, and making that kind of money on that kind of deal. Do you think that's good? Do you think that's not enough? Let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, to all my pioneers, welcome back. To my new viewers, welcome in. As always, I want each and every one of you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.